Excuse me, ma'am, this area is restricted. Investor check-in is back that way. Yes. I know. I am investor, Anya replied calmly, lifting her badge. The young man guarding the glass doors, no older than 30, perfect teeth, tailored blazer too tight at the shoulders, gave a tight, rehearsed smile. Ah, okay. Sure. But are you here with someone? She blinked once. Slowly. No. I'm here for presentation. I have invitation. She handed him the printed email. He took it, barely glancing at the name. His eyes darted to the laminated badge clipped to her coat. Then to her face. Her accent. Her scarf. Her age. Everything but the credentials. Aha, he said, handing it back with a smirk. Look, this is kind of a closed event. Mostly tech investors, VCs, you know, industry people. Anya's lips twitched slightly. And I am, what? Tourist? He chuckled. Others in the line behind her were watching now, 2 men in Patagonia vests and 1 woman in Gucci heels. The woman rolled her eyes and whispered something about ESL conferences down the hall. Ma'am, seriously, this isn't the public showcase. It's a private pitch event. You probably want level 2, community booths. Anya nodded slowly, looking him straight in the eyes. Not angry. Not embarrassed. You listen with ears. But you judge with eyes. Yes. He blinked. She turned. Walked away. And not one of them followed her. 10 minutes later, in the coffee lounge outside the event space, Anya sat alone at a round table. She stirred her tea slowly, deliberately, the tag of the bag dangling over the edge. Her tablet was open to the event agenda. She knew every company on the list. Their founders. Their valuations. Their weak spots. She didn't need to be inside to know who was pitching what. She had been reading these deals since they were napkin sketches. A woman in a black suit walked up, heels clicking. Dr. Petrova? Anya looked up. You're early. They haven't even begun yet. I was inside. Briefly. Let me guess. The woman said with a knowing smile. Bradley. Anya shrugged. He has good jawline. Not much else. They both laughed quietly. Shall we wait until your name is on the screen to watch his face melt? No, Anya said, sipping her tea. Let him drown in his own assumptions first. In the main auditorium, Bradley Knox, co-founder of Logix AI, was setting up his slides. Confident, loud, and fast-talking. The kind of guy who quoted Musk tweets unironically. He gestured to his co-founder, whispering. Did you see that lady earlier? With the accent? Totally lost. I told her to head to the community expo. She looked like she came in from the subway. The other man laughed. People really think anyone can get into venture deals these days. Bradley nodded smugly. Exactly. This isn't charity, this is capital. Back in the lounge, Anya checked her watch. The real show was about to begin. Not on the stage. But behind it. Where power lives quietly. And speaks in whatever accent it damn well pleases. Inside the brightly lit presentation hall, energy buzzed like a current. Rows of minimalist white chairs were filled with venture capitalists, founders, analysts, and a smattering of media with cameras at the ready. This was Launch Circle, the most anticipated early-stage pitch event of the year in Manhattan. At the front of the room stood a large LED screen cycling through logos of startups scheduled to present. One in particular, Logix AI, was causing the most noise. Everyone was whispering about it. The founder, Bradley Knox, had raised eyebrows over the last few months with his aggressive PR and bold projections. Now he stood confidently backstage, holding his pitch clicker, talking too loudly into his AirPods. After this demo, we're going to crush Series A. The panel's basically pre-sold. Only a formality. His co-founder Jake laughed beside him. Yeah. And with that fund rep from Immigrant here. Cakewalk. But then, a production assistant leaned in and spoke quietly. They're ready for you on stage in 2 minutes. Also, heads up, one of the Immigrant partners will be introduced in person this round. Bradley blinked. Wait. Which one? I thought we were talking to Elisa Tanaka. The assistant nodded. Yes, but she'll be joined by Dr. Anya Petrova. She just arrived. Jake froze. Did she say Petrova? Bradley turned, mouth slightly open. No. No way. No. The lady from the lobby? With the accent? Jake added. They looked at each other. Memory collided with panic. That's the woman I sent to the community floor, Bradley whispered. You mocked her, Jake muttered. Bradley swallowed. She looked like she was lost. Out front, the announcer's voice echoed over the speakers. Please welcome our lead investor partners from Immigrant Capital, Ms. Elisa Tanaka and Dr. Anya Petrova. The room burst into polite applause. When Anya stepped into the spotlight, elegant, composed, eyes calmly surveying the room, a ripple of whispers passed through the audience like wind over water. A man near the back whispered. That's the Petrova. The AI systems genius. Someone else leaned in. I heard she doesn't show up for anything. Always sends Tanaka. And yet, here she was. Not on a screen. Not behind a logo. But in the room. Bradley stood stiffly behind the stage curtain. Sweat gathered near his collar. His pitch deck suddenly felt thin. She's just an advisor, right? He hissed. No, Jake said, voice tight. She owns nearly 30% of Immigrant. And we laughed at her. Elisa Tanaka took the mic. Before we begin today's presentations, I want to acknowledge a rare presence. Many of you know Dr. Petrova only by name, as a data science pioneer, entrepreneur, and key partner in our fund. But today, she chose to attend in person. That should tell you how serious we are about the talent in this room. Applause again. But Bradley wasn't clapping. He was calculating. Do we pull the pitch? Do we change the script? Maybe she didn't recognize me. But then, Anya spoke. Her accent was there, firm, undeniable, but her words were clean, deliberate. Some people here may already have met me. Briefly. Laughter, but only from the people who didn't know. And that is good. Because how you act when you think someone is nobody, tells me everything about who you are. The room went still. Bradley went cold. Moments later, Logic's AI was called to present. Bradley stepped on stage, blinking into the spotlight. His voice cracked on the first sentence. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Bradley Knox, co-founder of Logic's AI. We optimize supply chain through predictive. But the words tripped over each other. His slide clicker slipped once in his palm. His gaze kept darting to the front row, where Anya sat, perfectly still, unreadable. At one point, he tried to improvise. We believe AI should serve all people, regardless of accent, background, or social status. A few heads turned. Anya raised a single eyebrow. Nothing more. The pitch ended early. Polite applause. No cheers. Backstage, Jake collapsed onto a stool. You butchered that, man. She stared through me. What did you expect? Later, at the networking lounge, as investors mingled and founders pitched one-on-one, Anya approached the coffee bar. Bradley saw her from across the room and walked up, fixing his blazer. Dr. Petrova, I wanted to apologize. She didn't turn. For which part? She asked softly. The misunderstanding. Earlier. Ah. Misunderstanding, she repeated. You thought I was lost. Because my English was not perfect. Because I wore old coat. No, I didn't, it wasn't like that. She turned, finally facing him. Her voice was calm. Controlled. You judged me in 10 seconds. That is not misunderstanding. That is instinct. And instinct tells me much about character. He swallowed hard. Look, Logix really needs this partnership. I believe in our tech. So did many before you. But belief is not enough. Respect is. She paused, then said quietly. We will not be moving forward. Across the room, Elisa watched, arms folded. He took the wrong bet, she whispered to the founder beside her. And she played the long game, the woman replied. That evening, Anya sat alone on the hotel terrace, the lights of Manhattan reflecting in the glass surrounding her. She opened her tablet and pulled up the updated list of pitches. One name glowed on the shortlist, Tierra Loop, a small green logistics startup founded by a first-gen Colombian engineer and her deaf brother. Their pitch had been quiet, simple, but elegant. Their ask was half of what Logix wanted. Anya smiled. Courage comes in many accents, she said to herself. She tapped approve. The next morning, the news was everywhere. Omnivent backs Tierra Loop in surprise funding pivot. Investor Dr. Anya Petrova breaks silence at NYC pitch event, and shakes up the room. Bradley scrolled through the headlines with a numb thumb. Each article repeated the same narrative, the underdog Latina startup, the overlooked brother-sister duo, the elegant takedown of egos in Patagonia vests. Nowhere was his company's name. He closed his laptop. The silence in the hotel room rang louder than applause ever had. Meanwhile, in a smaller, less glamorous co-working space across the city, Sofia Morales, the founder of Tierra Loop, stood in disbelief, staring at the email from Omnivent. We are honored to support your mission. Please consider us not just your investor, but your partner. Attached was a video message. She hit play. There was Anya. Calm, dignified, speaking directly to camera. You pitched without flash, without noise, but with heart. That's what the world needs. Logistics is not about machines. It's about people. You remembered that. So now, let us help you grow. Sofia blinked back tears. Her brother Miguel signed excitedly beside her, his smile so wide it made her laugh. We made it, she whispered. Someone finally saw us. Back at Omnivent's main office, the post-event debrief was in full swing. A junior analyst timidly approached Anya with a question. Dr. Petrova, some of our backers were surprised you went with Tierra Loop. Their projections were modest. Anya nodded. So was my first startup. And we turned that into a $2 billion acquisition. But Logix had stronger numbers on paper. She held up a hand gently. Numbers lie. People don't. Then, after a pause. Bradley Knox built for efficiency. Sofia Morales built for impact. When you back impact, the returns follow, just not always on schedule. The analyst scribbled that down like scripture. That evening, a highlight reel from the event was uploaded to YouTube. Midway through the video, one clip stood out, a quiet moment captured after the pitch sessions, when a young black founder approached Anya with hesitation in his voice. Excuse me, Dr. Petrova. I just wanted to say thank you. For showing up. For showing people like me that you don't have to sound a certain way to matter. Anya smiled. You're welcome. And you're wrong. The young man blinked. I am. You do have to sound a certain way, she said gently. You have to sound like you mean it. That's all. A week later, Bradley sat across from a different investor, trying again. The VC looked unimpressed. Why didn't Immigrant pick you? Bradley sighed. Because I couldn't see past my own pitch deck. The VC raised an eyebrow. Honest. I'll give you that. But no handshake came. As for Anya, she returned to her quiet apartment in Brooklyn, a small brownstone where books lined every shelf and the kettle always whistled one note too long. She didn't need headlines or credit. But she did need legacy. And legacy, she believed, was made in moments like this, where someone who'd been ignored for too long finally felt seen. They mocked her accent, not knowing it spoke the language of empires, of endurance, of data, and dignity. But when she spoke, finally, publicly, the room listened. Not because her voice was perfect. But because her silence had been. Until now.
Thank you for listening to this story. If it moved you a bit, leave something, write a comment, like the video. It helps us grow the channel and create more stories. See you in the next story from Stories for Each Day.